Let's take a look at this now. Abantu Book Festival is an annual pilgrimage for black writers and readers held in Soweto to celebrate the rich and diverse African literary heritage. While the book remains the central medium, the festival presents an extensive program that is a feast for the whole family, which includes poetry, musical performances, writing and publishing workshops, and much, much more. Well, Thando Mgqolozana, the Abantu Book Festival organizer, joins me in studio this morning. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for being here.
Very good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yeah. I mean, when we just look at our authors in South Africa, there's so much to be proud of, especially when we speak about authors who write for the majority of people living in South Africa, which is black people. There's so many black authors that we can be so proud of, so many black poets that we can be so proud of. And I just want to begin by asking, does this festival in any way celebrate some of those authors? I mean, in 2019 alone, we've seen a number of black authors, mostly women, publishing their books, and that's just absolutely amazing.
So one of the things that I, to my surprise, discovered when I started Abantu Book Festival in 2016 is just how many black writers there are.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been surprised. We are a big majority. A lot of us are writing. So yes, the book festival is all about that, about celebrating the work of art that black writers are producing, have been producing. We were packing books just a few days ago before the festival, and I discovered so many self-published and independently published black writers who are majority women, black women. So yes, this is exactly what it's about.
And then talk us through, some of the highlights and what people can expect going in. I mean, in the intro, I spoke about how it's not just about the books. There's so much more.
Yeah.
Talk us through that.
So today is the big day of the festival. The somewhat unfortunate thing is that normally it's sunny, it's warm, people dress up to come here, but not only is it raining this time, but it's also quite chilly. So, so the Saturday is normally a big day. Today we've got Mda on stage talking about having written his last novel, The Zulus of New York.
Didn't he release something 2 years ago at this very festival in 2017, I think it was?
Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, there was a group of academics who were writing a book on Mda's work. And they kept postponing it because he was putting in more and more new work. So yes, 2 years ago in 2017, Mda had a new book that he was launching called Justify the Enemy. And now, 2 years later, he has The Zulus of New York, which he says is his last novel. And we want to mark this as a moment.
Absolutely.
Because he's been our preeminent novelist for over 2 decades now in this country. So that's just one of the highlights for today. And then we're going to have our keynote speaker, Mona El-Tahawi, in conversation with Professor Phumla Dineo-Gola. We are going to have D.B. Young, who was our keynote poetry performer, launching her book, Dubbing Poetry. She's Jamaican. She is a massive, massive icon globally. There's a children's area, so a shout out to the parents. Do bring your parents. We've moved the session for children indoors, so they will be warm. There's a heater, and there's a beautiful, beautiful program that features Nomalanga Mkhize, Dr. Nomalanga Mkhize, Xolisa Guzula doing storytelling, performing and reading for the kids.
I mean, last year, you guys had spoken about how you want to give a focus and maybe a platform to young filmmakers and those who are doing short films.
Yes.
Have you been able to do that this time around? Is that something we can expect?
Yes. So one of our permanent features in the festival is film screening. So although this is a book festival, we embrace all forms of storytelling. So there's music, there's film screening, there is, what else is there? There's poetry, and so many other things.
There's a lot.
So film screening is there this year. We are leading with a documentary that is not yet out, that is literary, that is a documentary on the life of Toni Morrison, who passed away this year. And there's also Ineba, and there's a whole list of other short and feature films produced by black filmmakers.
So just speak me through this. So when you arrive at the festival, do you pay a once-off fee and you can go inside and experience all of these things that we've now spoken about? Or do you pay as you go once you're inside the festival?
So the day events are taking place at A2 Lifestyle Center in Mfulo, and they are free.
Okay.
So you just walk in and you either go to the Toni Morrison Hall or the Sandile Dikeni Hall or film screening or the bookstore or the kiddies area, or you can just go and chill at the bar. But it's completely free. And then at night at the Soweto Theatre, the tickets are 20 rands. But we do, even if it says sold out, just come, we'll find a way. We've never left anyone out.
Oh, that's amazing. And I want us to speak then about, you know, the challenges of swifting through all the books and all the films, you know, the work that goes in in order for this festival to be a success. How does that work? Who goes through all the books?
And I do. And this means, for me personally, it means that I must cut out a time in a year in which I read the things that I want to read, and then I read for work. So I have to read a lot of the new books that are coming out, but our curation is not based on what is the latest exciting thing. We also go back and find a book that we think is important and bring focus to that. Because the key thing here is that for a very, very long time, there was no functioning literary infrastructure in the townships and villages. And so a book that was published 10 years ago might be a new book in Soweto, in the audience in Soweto. So we have to balance it. We also have to look at who is putting what in the continent as well. So this year we've got a number of Nigerians, Zimbabweans, as I mentioned, we've got a Jamaican, we've got an Egyptian as well, because Abantu Book Festival has got a pan-Africanist and feminist outlook to it. So it's all about the balance of that, and we end up with a program. It's almost accidental every year.
Yeah. And I mean, this is an annual pilgrimage, as I said in the intro, and I think this is the fourth one that you guys are having this year. What type of people does it attract? Is it just Joburgers that come to the festival, or do you have people from maybe outside of the province who want to come and spend the weekend?
So one of the things that amazes me is that we put our staff and the authors at the Soweto Hotel in Kliptown on Freedom Square. And that hotel calls us in January to say, are you going to have, what are the dates for the next edition? Because we want to block your 40 rooms. Because people are starting to book, ordinary people are starting to book in order to attend the festival. And that's one thing. The second thing is the B&Bs in Pimville, Orlando West, everywhere are always fully booked by people who are coming from outside of the province. I'll probably give a shout out to Masivuye and Vuolwe, to the twins from Cape Town, who have been coming to the festival every year, traveling from Cape Town.
Wow.
I met people yesterday who came from the Free State. There are people who came from Botswana. So we've got people who are traveling from everywhere and anywhere in the continent just to be here.
And you've got people who are returning, which is even better.
Yeah.
What exactly do they take away, you know, for first comers? What will they be taking away if they come to the festival?
So I take credit for having created the thing. I take credit for curating it. But what I can't take credit of is the most important part, which is the spirit, the energy that is generated in the festival. It's a spirit of healing, a spirit of freedom that the people are telling us. So they keep coming back to this because this is a group hug for all black people. This is a healing session for all black people. So that when it ends on Saturday, people get a bit traumatized because the next one is too far.
It's a year from now. All right, well, thank you so much. That's where we'll have to end the conversation. Thando Mgqolozana, Abantu Book Festival organizer.